Good morning. Welcome to CamLook, your daily dose of the Cincinnati Art Museum. At 10 o'clock each weekday, a staff member or volunteer will be here to share an object from our collection, so join us for each new conversation. My name is Betty, and I'm a museum docent. Throughout history, women have always had concerns about pregnancy and childbirth. Would they be able to deliver a healthy baby? Would the mom be okay? So today I want to share 3 objects with you to show how a typical woman in ancient Egypt around 1350 BCE handled her concerns. They were found together in a modest house in Amarna. First, here is a small bed, handmade out of terracotta with painted decoration. Reclining on the bed is a little terracotta fertility figurine. It was made by pressing clay into a mold, which means it was mass-produced and an inexpensive item available to women of all levels in society. The third object was a miniature stele, or small slab-shaped tablet, made of limestone with painted decorations. On the front, we see a woman and young boy making an offering of lotus flowers to Taweret, an Egyptian goddess of pregnant women, childbirth, and young children. Every part of this little drawing is symbolic and full of hope. The lotus was a symbol of regeneration. Taweret doesn't look warm and maternal. Rather, she is the head of a hippo and the tail of a crocodile and wears a sun-disk crown decorated with feathers. Her name means the Great One. Ancient Egyptians knew how ferocious female hippos were in protecting their young, so they thought Taweret would protect human women and children too. When we look at these objects together, it is clear that the owner wanted to be sure she had successful pregnancies and a large family. That large family was important to help out on the farm or business, to care for elderly parents, and to provide funeral ceremonies so the parents would have a good afterlife. But it wasn't easy to have a large family. With a high infant mortality rate and disease, an Egyptian woman was lucky if 50% of her children lived to adulthood. Childbirth was also risky. It was more magic than science. Women were helped in delivery by their female relatives and maybe a midwife, but not by a doctor. That is why the offerings were important. The mother and baby needed divine protection from chaotic and evil forces. I wonder if the lady of the house had a small shrine where she prayed for a successful delivery. To me, the most remarkable aspect of these objects is where they were found. In Amarna, the new capital of the heretic pharaoh Akhenaten. He had announced that only the sun disk was worthy of worship and turned his back on the old gods of Egypt. He even left the capital and built a new city at Amarna to show his devotion to Aten, the sun disk. While the nobles were changing their faith, the woman who owned these objects wasn't buying it. She knew Egyptian women had prayed to Taweret for over 1,500 years for healthy children, and she continued the old tradition quietly at home. So my question today for you is this: does your family have any superstitions about childbirth? How to tell the sex of a baby? What the mom should eat? Add your thoughts in the chat below.